left off Tezayin. We left off over here in the first paragraph, Tezayin, Maharal. That this ugly person who presented himself to Rabbi Shimon was Eliyahu Hanavi. And why did he give him such a tough time that he would not forgive him? I mean, he could have walked away, take the insult, and disappear. Eliyahu was unforgiving that to really drive home that he sinned. Otherwise, very often we do something. Sometimes you find people, malbim f'nei chavei v'rabim is a serious thing. Embarrassing a person in public. Sometimes people, they make comments, insulting comments, even in a public setting, and they're not even aware of what they're saying. That's how people are used to actually denigrating or speaking just they're off the top of their heads without thinking before they speak, and they say things which are very hurtful to other people, even in a public setting. Somebody says to somebody, he says, "Do you realize what you just said?" He says, "What did I say?" You understand? The man doesn't even realize what he said. He embarrassed the person publicly. He doesn't even realize he embarrassed him. That's how irresponsible people are when they speak. You understand? Rabbi Eliyahu Hanavi here wouldn't have given him the tough time by making the comment that he says, go speak to the craftsman. If you have a problem, go speak to the craftsman. If he wouldn't have made that comment, he wouldn't even realize that he said something which was out of line here, something which was inappropriate. Hashem sent Eliyahu to point out to him what he had done, that he should do tshuva. He says, I will only forgive him only if he doesn't repeat this behavior. He should have said more. We left off with this. He said you should be humble. He only spoke this way to this ugly man because he felt elated, he felt superior. He had this condescending attitude. So he should have said, from here we say, a person should be humble. That's not what he said. We said earlier, why did he speak out of term? Because since he was so elated because of the Torah that he had acquired, he had ascended to such heights, that's why he spoke this way. This is where we left off. When the reed grows in an upward direction, as it ascends, it gets higher, it starts bending because it doesn't have the rigidity of the cedar tree. The other one stays erect, but because of it's so thin, the koneh, as it gets higher, it starts bending. So as you ascend, you should be humble. And that which means simultaneously, although Torah is ascent, the ultimate ascent, nevertheless, you should be like the koneh. The area is the cedar is just the opposite of this. As it rises, it's erect. He says, and this is clear, what he had said. Can you hear that story? What story? Let's hear it again.
Yeah. Not the first time coming to the train station, there were crowds there, but everybody went to see him. He pulled on a shade so that no one could see him. He was too much, he was afraid that he would.
Not sure if that story is accurate, but people tell the stories. Okay. There's a story, famous story. The Nesivos Olam. Nesivos mentioned him. And who was the other person? I think it was Kiva. They were riding in a coach together and coming to a community. In the olden days, to show what covenant Torah was, what they would do when two great Torah sages come to a community, the community would go out like a mile or two to greet the coach, and they would unhitch the horses, and and they would lift the coach, and they would carry the coach. They would carry the coach to the town. That's how they showed Kavod Torah. So Reb Kiveger and Nesivos Olam were talking about the leading Torah sages, humble, tzaddikim, holy people, and each one feels, and they don't. Each one knows what's coming, and each one doesn't realize what's going on the other one's mind. So one's sitting to one side of the coach, the other side of the coach. They don't look at one another. At a different point before this happens, each one exits the door, not realizing the other one exited the door. Yeah? They come, they grab the coach, they carry it, they come to town, they put it in front of the main shul, they open the doors, everybody's waiting in the line. It's empty. So they realized what happened. That because of the tzidkus and the humility and the anivos of these people, there's no way they want to be exposed to this kind of acknowledgement. So they realized they're probably walking. So they all went out, and they find these two holy rabbis, walking down the roads, carrying their own bags, walking down the road. That's what's happening. That's the story. Because they were afraid that they'd be affected. Do you know how you can be affected by this? To be continued. Let's see. The learning today is L'zecha Nishmas Fegel Bas Rabbi Yomi. Alei Shalom. Better go visit his father. Okay, maybe not. Stories with Reb Shlomo Sharabi, I'm not sure with his father. Okay. I'm not saying you're making it up. You tell stories very well. To have Eliyahu Hanavi, you have to be more than just special. You have to be holy. It's not just based on how much you know. You have to be a holy person. It's a level of purity which we can't even relate to. And somebody once went to Rabbi Yosef Zech Tzaddik Livrocha and said to him, "How's it possible that Rav Shach is not one of the Lamavot Tzaddikim? Everybody knows he's a tzaddik. Everybody knows Rav Shach is a tzaddik. Wait, evidently he's not a hidden tzaddik. He's not Lamed Vav Tzaddikim. They're hidden. There are 36 hidden tzaddikim that the world stands on their shoulders. How's it possible that Rav Shach, because of who he is and what he is and what he does, why isn't he one of the Lamed Vav Tzaddikim? Because everybody knows he's a tzaddik, so he's not hidden." So Rabbi Yosef says, "No, you don't understand. What he really is, you don't even know what he is." So he could be one of the Lamed Vav Tzaddikim. That's what he said. So many times we see people, we think this, that, even if he's a tzaddik, you don't even realize how much is hidden, how much is concealed of that person. It was known, Yosef had a grandfather. He was known as the Leshem. The Leshem HaKodesh. He was an Ashkenazi. His name was Elyoshev. And Rabbi Yoshev's name, Elyoshev, is really the maternal name. It wasn't his father's name. It had to do with Europe, the whole story. So he took on his father's name. Elyoshev was a great Kabbalist, very great Kabbalist. The grandfather. The Leshem, the Chofetz Chaim said on the Leshem, to what degree he esteemed him, that whoever has an opportunity to meet him in this world should go see him. Because in the world to come, he's going to be at a level very few people will be able to approach him. Even if you merit a share in the world to come. Therefore, if you want to be smart, you should try. If you could engage with him in this world, engage with him in this world. That's what the Chofetz Chaim said on the Leshem. That's Rabbi Yoshev's grandfather. So there was a story. The Ben Ish Chai was a Sardik. He was the leading Torah sage in Baghdad, in Iraqi Jewry. Passed away in 1910. So the Leshem once sent him his writings, Kabbalistic writings on the Torah, to Baghdad. They should look at it. Nobody knew they had a correspondence between the two of them. Ben Ish Chai was a Makubal, definitely had Gilui Aliyah, had everything. I mean, all Sephardic, many their traditions are based on the Ben Ish Chai. And so all of a sudden, one day, the Ben Ish Chai, during the week, he puts on Shabbos clothing, and he says, we have to celebrate. He's giving a special Suda. He says, what's going on? He says, well, just received a packet of Chidushei Torah from a person named the Leshem from a town in Europe, in Lithuania, Russia, and therefore it's a Yom Tif today. He never heard, he never realized he had a relationship with an Ashkenazi rabbi, and Ashkenazi is a Makubal, a Kabbalist. He didn't understand it. Okay, but that's the story with the Leshem. Rabbi Yoshev was born 20 years after his parents were married. He was an only child. When he was 12, 13 years old, he studied with his grandfather. His grandfather was an Israel, they came to Israel together. And his grandfather was older and he had difficulty seeing. He would write many of his Kabbalistic recordings of the Leshem. Rabbi Yoshev was advanced in Kabbalah, you can't imagine. He never, ever openly showed that side of him, ever. Well, it was known. And many of the writings, and his grandpa, even when he was 13, mentions that his grandson had said something regarding something that he had said in the Kabbalah. You understand? So do you know who Rabbi Yoshev was talking about Rav Shach, but who was Rabbi Yoshev? Well, he's the Posek Gador. Okay? Posek Gador. He had a memory which is, there was a famous story. Rabbi Yoshev, when the state was founded, maybe pre-state, he was a dayan in the Bezin HaGodol, on the rabbinic court of the state of Israel. So there's no question, Zionism, this and that. And the shidduch was made between Reb Chaim Kanevsky and his wife, which was Rabbi Yoshev's daughter. So people got into Stifling. Stifling was fire. And then he said, you realize it's on the Zionistic Bezdin, you want to have such a bechutni, right? What do you want? So the Stifler said, and David could appreciate this, David and Howard, because they finished Zroim now. When they finished, that there's a commentary in Zroim and Tyrus called the Rash. You study the Rash, tiny, you have on a page, you could have 15 lines. He says, a Jew who knows every Rash in Tyrus, word for word by heart, I have no problem with such a bechut. That's what the Stifler said. You understand? This was the dimension of mind that Rabbi Yoshev had. He spoke to him. Didn't come across like a genius. Didn't display any of that, whatever, arrogant, nothing. You know what it means? It's like, you start from one page in the telephone book and you end at the end. That was what kind of memory he had. That was his retention. Plus, there's so many things we don't even know about him. You say, okay, it's what to aspire to. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Chofetz Chaim was known to have Gilui Aliyah. There's a story of Rav Shach, of Reb Eli Lapyan. Reb Eli Lapyan personally had Gilui Aliyah. He once came he had a very close relationship with the Chofetz Chaim. Comes into Chofetz Chaim's house, and he sees somebody, and the person had such a presence, such an aura, he never saw such a person in his life. Coming out of Chofetz Chaim's house. Goes into Chofetz Chaim, and he makes a comment to Chofetz Chaim. He says, I saw something in my house. He says, I never experienced it. He never saw such a presence, such an aura of a person. So Chofetz Chaim says to him, did you say Shalom to him? Did you acknowledge him? Say Shalom? He says, yes. He says, did he return it? Did he say... That's Reb Eli Lapyan said. So you understand, we don't even know the Chofetz Chaim. Did you see the picture in Austria? He was at the train station. It's unbelievable, the picture. Everybody's getting excited about his picture. What about his Torah? What about his everything else? Right, the picture. Did you see the hat he wore? Did you see the hat? It doesn't match the picture. We were used to. That's the level of superficiality we're holding at. Okay.